5 tips that you need to know to make sure that your international travel goes smoothly. So there's going to be a lot of international travel happening here. And I want to remind you of 5 tips that you need to know to make sure that your international travel goes smoothly. I'm Roseanne with Travel with Roseanne. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started talking about it. Well, the first thing, and one of the first questions I always get is, what type of credit card do I travel with? Not want to travel with American Express. Not very many places take American Express. You want to travel with either a Visa or a MasterCard. Those are safe credit cards to have with you when you travel. And there are a lot of European countries, and I don't know about other countries, but when I was in Sweden, they did not take cash anywhere. It was all electronic, all using my Apple Pay, using your credit card. So make sure that you have a credit card that you're comfortable using. And the second tip is to make sure there are no foreign transaction fees. What that means is that if you have a credit card that doesn't specifically state no foreign transaction fees, then every time you use your card in another country, they're going to charge you a fee, and that can add up, especially when you're going to a country that doesn't take cash. So make sure that you have a card that doesn't have foreign transaction fees. Another question I get is, how much cash should I bring with me when I travel? So from my perspective, I like to bring about $150 to $200 in cash in that currency, and I will get that when I'm here. I'll either go to my bank and order it, or I'll order it online. When I went to Sweden, I had to come back and cash in because they don't take cash. So I like to have extra cash just in case I'm in a taxi and they don't have a credit card machine. More likely than not, they will have one, but there's still those old timers that might not. So I like just to have a couple of, to have some money and some cash. The other tip is, when you need cash in another country, you want to go to a bank, to an ATM at a bank, and get cash from there. You need to be very careful that you don't use those ATM machines that charge a very large fee to get cash. Now, when I was in Scotland, they had those ATM machines and they said free transactions. But I didn't realize that until the end of my trip. So you just pay attention to what the fees are. Usually the best rate is at the bank. And when you're purchasing something with your credit card at a store, make sure you use the local currency and not the United States dollar, because you want the bank to exchange that and not your supplier or the store that you're at. That's much cheaper for you in the long run. Another tip: when you get to the airport, make sure you go 2 to 3 hours earlier than your flight. I know things have been streamlined and things have been going a lot smoother, but it's best to be early, because there's going to be that chance that you have to be in line for a long time if you get there at that hour where everyone's in line, because you're not going to be able to check in fully online. When you're going to an international trip, you're going to have to get in line, show your passport, and you need to check in that way. So that's really important to remember. And one of the most important things in that regard to that is that when you get to the airport early, then you don't have to stress or worry about missing your flight or your connection, because you're there and you can relax. You could, they have plenty of food and plenty of things to drink. I know it's annoying hanging out in the airport, but it's more annoying if you miss your flight. My best tip that I give everyone is just please get to the airport early so that you don't have to start your vacation stressed. And lastly, when you book your trips internationally, you want to try your best to have a layover between 2 to 3 hours. That will give you space in case your flight was delayed or going through customs. So sometimes you have to go through customs before you can get your transfer, just so that you can make sure that you have plenty of time. Sometimes 2 to 3 hours is a luxury and you can't get that. But if you're cognizant about making your connections, pay attention to your layover time. If it's 30 or 45 minutes, it could be so close. And since you're going on vacation, you want to make sure you get there stress-free and safely, and all is well. So these are some tips. There are 5 different tips for you, and I hope you found them useful as we're coming into the traveling season. And if you need any help planning your trip, let me know. I'm a travel agent, and I love planning trips for people. It just makes me so happy. So have a really great day, and I'll see you soon. Ciao for now. Bye.